As a student, I played all the sports, baseball, soccer, basketball.
I was part of the class of 1990.
I coached the bowling team.
I was on the Honor Society.
Department Dean for World Languages.
Run student government elections.
Yearbook.
I was in the yearbook committee.
Film club.
Planned the prom. I planned Winter Carnival.
Spanish Honor Society.
Announce at games and different events. They ask for an announcer, so I do that. There's been Kobe's coming to Coe Brown since 1970. It's the social life of the community. So I fell in love with it way before I became here as a student.
I coach varsity boys basketball as well, which entails programs not only during the basketball season, but during the summer and off season as well.
1867, Mr. Coe wanted to build a small school to teach the agricultural children of the community. And it was actually a one-room schoolhouse between Soper House and the church. There was a one-room schoolhouse there. That was the original Coe Academy.
Initially, the townspeople were sold shares, basically. That was the way they invested in the school's origin and how it was built and constructed. They sold shares of the school, and then they didn't have enough money, so they sold more shares of the school.
And then years later, Governor Brown retired from being governor of New Hampshire and donated money to Coe Academy. That's when it became Coe Brown. And they moved it to the Hill. This was the first edition, what we're in now.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty cool to think about. We used to be a one-room schoolhouse. It used to be a big house across the street where the shop parking lot is. And that was originally the headmaster's house. And then at one time, young ladies who were single teachers lived upstairs in that house.
Okay.
That was a long, long time ago, back in the 1800s. And then I was told way up top above Miss Lassie's office, Mr. Assie's old classroom upstairs, that sometimes students would board there. They would take the train to Epsom and on a stagecoach come to Coe Brown for the week. And then on Friday, they would go to stagecoach back to Epsom, get on the train and go home for the weekend. And that's a long time ago. To me, that's kind of crazy.
Well, for instance, this is my classroom, and this classroom used to be the boys' locker room. So I think it's incredibly unusual that the place that I couldn't go into when I was a student is now my classroom, which is kind of funny. And we would have the gym, all gym activities, gym classes and sports activities were above our heads. And the students are kind of used to it now. When people walk across the gym, you can hear it, but it was quite different when actual gym classes were held during the day and you were down here in the classrooms below the gym trying to do math, trying to dissect worms in biology, and you just hear during basketball season and gym class and the ka-dunk, 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 ka-dunk. It's funny because as a teacher, I don't even notice the noise, and the students are quite shocked at the noise. I said, oh no, it used to be a lot worse. We're sitting here in the 1950s wing of the school. Of course, there's the 1867 wing, and there's a 90s wing, and then it just goes on from there. So all of the additions.
The growth of the school to keep up with the growth of the population, I think, says a lot about when Mr. Smith came in 1980, my senior year. And so if you don't change leadership, you can continue to go forward and build and build and build. You're not always every 2 years changing leadership, changing philosophy, changing what you're going to do. So instead of treading water, we've been able to continue to move forward under Mr. Smith's leadership. And I think that's why the school's so much bigger, because the student population is so much bigger. I think so many people have moved to Northwood and Stratford over those last 40 years so they can send their kids here.
because Headmaster Smith, he was, for those of us who went to school at Coe Brown, he was our headmaster, and now he's our boss, and he's, you know, been consistently here for so long that it's really nice to be working under one boss, and it makes for a really good family atmosphere.
I like being the headmaster at Coe Brown is various reasons, but one being the students, two being the parents, and three being the community. And overall, the support of the Board of Trustees has always been top-notch for them wanting to do what's best for the students of all the communities that we serve.
Miss Lassie's office was the whole guidance department. Yeah. And she taught psychology besides being guidance. You know, the guidance department was the library. Miss Kennedy, like I said, Miss Kennedy's room was the whole science department. Things have just, Miss Usinger's was the metal shop, and Mr. De Palma's room was the wood shop.
Probably the most notable change would be like during the pandemic years where we had to kind of shift our educational strategy and how we were going to reach different populations of students remotely, and incorporating technology a lot more into our processes.
So the history has changed. The first headmaster of Coe Brown Academy was Reverend Cogswell, and it has moved forward greatly since the 1800s.
We're a lot bigger now, for sure. When I graduated in '81, there were 130 kids in the whole school. There were like 12 teachers. Now I think we're over 80 grown-ups that work here. You know, and over 650 kids, and all these buildings now. We're a campus now. It's crazy. I mean, this building has been added on to 3 times.
Ideal situation is that we would love to have every student wanting to participate in some activity to go along with their academic schedule, and that could be anything from being involved in drama, to music, to athletics, to journalism, to yearbook, any type of activity. So we always encourage, and we'd love to see students that find an interest in some other activities other than their regular academic studies. Because usually we all become a lot more productive if we're able to coordinate our whole schedules around things that we like to supplement our academic activities.
Back in 1990, there was no Smith Hall. Wigan Hall was just kind of an older house from, I think, the 1800s, and it wasn't expanded. There was no science building. So the growth of Coe Brown has been fun to watch, and the careful planning by the Board of Trustees based on our needs and the different type of courses and programs that we've started since I was a student here. It's fun to watch that grow bigger and bigger. And now, I mean, we have an incredible campus facility here with some really great buildings, renovated buildings. And so that's been really wonderful because, you know, they make careful choices and do it deliberately and wait until you have the money to expand, but it all has really improved the school so much.
Their job is to set policy. They're like the government of the school, and they set policy for the Coe Brown community, which includes the students and faculty and staff.
So you get to work with a lot of students from all different aspects of Coe Brown, different kinds of kids with different strengths and abilities, and I think that's what I like most. You get to work with students that you don't see day to day in the classroom a lot of times. It's kids that I've never met before, and you get to know a broad array of personalities and what makes our school special. So. It's all about adapting, but keeping the main goals consistent.
Working here at Coe Brown it's a really wonderful place to work. The morale between the teachers and staff and everyone who works here, it's really very high. We're all incredibly happy to be here, and you can tell that because people stay here for a very long time.
I get to work with some really great kids. Colleagues in the department are all wonderful. My administration is great and supportive. I have a supportive community, and I've worked in a couple different schools in New Hampshire. It's not something you find in many places, and Coe Brown has done more than any other school to make me feel kind of part of that community, and I'm glad to give back in any way that I can.
The community of the school, the culture of the school is reflected by the people who work in it. So buildings are very important to keep clean and orderly and all that, but it's all about the people in the buildings, in the classroom, and that's why that we're blessed with our outstanding faculty and staff that we have. They're the ones who make and support the culture that we have and that we need to be moving forward.
All the changes I've seen, to me, because I've seen them all, it's just been amazing. But again, it's a compliment to the success that we've had here.
One thing I think that shows how special Coe Brown is the number of alumni who come back here and teach. So that's unusual for a school because most people try to run away from their high school as fast as they possibly can and they're not interested in coming back. But at various points, I think we average about 24 faculty and staff members who graduated from Coe Brown, and that really says something, that they spent time here as a student and they loved it so much and they believe so much in its mission and respect the headmaster so much that they want to come back and be employees. So I think that says a lot.
This is a very great day to always remember all of the good things we have and not worry about the things that we don't have. And on that note, have a nice Friday.